when you talk to some people and they're just a ball of energy, they're fun, they're happy, they're great. That's just what happened right now. So, I mean, I just got done with Jimmy Klein. Okay. So, you have a conversation with some homies, and I don't know. I love positive people. I love happy people. I love people that that are secure. I feel like that's the security. You're secure with yourself. You're cool. And so Jimmy Klein is an amazing DJ. I have him tagged in everything. You guys can find him. He doesn't promote too much, it doesn't sound like, but they get a lot of business because of their networking. I mean, being DJ for 23 years in the Reno area, born and raised here. He's 53, not too much older than me, and I'm kind of following that path, and I'm happy with it. But we've done a lot of weddings together, and as I was doing this podcast, he messaged me and said he would love to be on it. And a guy being from radio, we just had a straight conversation. I don't think there was any dull moments in there. I know I do some of these podcasts and I'm struggling on trying to find just a little bit of information, or like, what do I talk about? I'm looking around the room like, what should I talk about? And so I didn't have to do that with this, but kind of going through COVID, I asked him some deep questions because, by the time this comes out, you guys will know I am the president of Weddings of the West now. I will be announced in a couple weeks at the meeting, and I can't really tell anybody about it now, but you guys will know. So I really wanted to know why he wasn't part of these organizations, and I was sad to hear about the kind of animosity that's happening, or the fear of the animosity too, because he really didn't say that something was bad was happening to him or somebody said anything bad, but he's like, I'm just worried that if I did. And yeah, it's nitpicky, it's bitchy, it's stupid. It's like, you don't really want to walk into a room and worry about what you're going to say. We hear it all the time. The president says something weird or dumb or whatever, and then all of a sudden all the news channels get together and they start talking about that he said something weird or stupid or dumb, and you're like, that wasn't the goal. That wasn't what happened with everything. Oh my God, it's out of focus. But guys, my name's Jeramie. I'm the host of Raw Focus. I keep forgetting to tell you my name. But I want to thank you guys so much for the support as of late. I know I say this every podcast, but this is growing. This is doing great, and I'm very, very happy. Just kind of living our lives right now. We have another thing from the governor tonight. We're on a 50 person or less in the wedding industry, events and all that. I'm shooting, I'm working as much as I can, but not really making any money because everything I sold was gift certificates and the payas. So that's coming about. But today was like 90, it's 95 degrees. It's not even there yet. I did a shoot this morning right before, and holy crap, I was just wet. It was so freaking hot. I felt bad for the couple, or the mom and the baby that was in there. But it was chill. It was cool. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, and hope you guys are having a good day. Guys, also, all my information is down below. You guys can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Please drop by anywhere, say hello. If you have somebody that wants to be part of this podcast, I'm open to taking interviews, and the interviews will be the podcast, and that's how we're doing it. But again, this is awesome. So thank you guys so much. This is Raw Focus, and without further ado, here is Jimmy Klein. Unmute you. There it is.
Is it good? Am I good?
I can hear you. Yeah, buddy. How's it going?
Oh, man. Good. How about you, bro?
Good. Just hanging out. Did a photo shoot. Ran back. Dude, it's hot, man.
Yeah. We've had a couple of grad parties. We've actually got 2 weddings at Whitney Peak, and they actually don't care about the corona or nothing, dude. They're just rolling with them.
So they didn't limit the 50 or anything?
Not the second one.
I wonder why. Like, I wonder how they're able to not care. If anybody even is it just like suggested at this point?
So they told us they're making the bride and groom sign a waiver, and boom, it's on them, I guess.
Right.
So I mean, I guess it makes sense, but I don't know, dude. To me, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done a wedding yet. I've been doing these I have like a couple micro weddings booked. I have one booked on Saturday.
Nice.
But it's supposed to be at the church, and they only wanted me at the church, and then they now want me to go to the house and take some pictures and all that stuff. And I don't care anymore at this point. But it's more like the people that care. So
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
have to worry about them.
Right.
Jimmy Klein. And are you guys on Facebook, your business?
Yeah.
How do you spell lightning? Jesus.
Lightning.
And G. Why is it not coming up? Lightning and.
And
Okay.
so we're
Thunder and Lightning Mobile. Got it.
got it.
I thought I did it backwards. Nice. Awesome, buddy. So I'm just going to roll this on Facebook, but I don't want you to worry about the Facebook part at all.
Okay.
We're just going to kind of chat. And I haven't decided if this is about business or about us or whatever. So we're just going to bullshit and talk and live our dreams. But how are you guys doing? How are you guys doing now I haven't seen you. Was it like 6 months, something like that? It's been a while.
Yeah. You know what, man? I think, we're like everybody else. I mean, we've got weddings, rescheduling. I think next year is going to be a big year for everybody if we can hold out that long. Kelly and I are pretty solid. Our business will maintain. We'll maintain until next year, so we're good with that. So.
Yeah. So how did everything go for you? Did people reschedule, fully cancel, or what were you guys doing?
No, listen, we've had really good bride and grooms. We only had 2 that canceled, and we probably had 10 or 15 that rescheduled. So no, we're doing great. It's good. Good news.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So you guys aren't feeling. Are you feeling it? Are you glad it's kind of over?
No, man. We're feeling the pinch like everybody else for sure. I think we've had to cut back on some things that we would normally do, and but this is life. Life as we see it now, and it is what it is, right?
Yeah, and that's what it is. As I've been like part of these a couple associations now, and that was the biggest talking point is like, how do we go forward? How do we move forward from here? What do we do? I was lucky enough that I built a really good business that I can pivot and do what I wanted to do. But I know a lot of my DJ buddies, a lot of the people in the industry were feeling it hard. And I don't know if it's because they weren't charging what they were supposed to be charging from the beginning. They cut too many deals, or it's weird. But the DJ world has seemed to like hit the hardest, and I'm not sure why.
You know what? I can speak for Kelly and I, bro. When we're busy during the summer, we bankroll our money. And we bankroll it because we know we're going to be slow come January, February, possibly March, until April rolls around. So we're very, very smart with our money. So when we're making all that money, during the summer, we're bankrolling it. So
Well, yeah, everybody should, and we kind of figured out a lot of these people were, it's interesting to find out how many people it only takes a month of not working in order for them to completely kill their business, or they can't even go forward or move on anymore. And that's insane to me.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad to me, dude. And the thing about it is, it's kind of like, oh man, I made $10,000 in June. I'm going to go buy this and this and this. And man, I'm rolling. And then here comes a slow time and you're like, oh man, I rolled for this long and I spent this much money and oh man, I'm out of money. Where did it all go?
Yeah, and it's business 101. Like make sure that in your savings you have 6 months of mortgage, 6 months of whatever. And I think people are forgetting that aspect of everything. But the reason go ahead.
No, you're right. It's business 101, man. When you run a business, you got to be smart. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the reason that I started this podcast, and that was my biggest pivot when COVID happened. I gave information via Zoom, via online Facebook and all that stuff. But the reason I started this was that I wanted to get to know people on a little more personal level. Like I work with you guys all the time. I work with all these people, and I feel like I talk about myself all the time. People know about me, but I don't really know about you guys. And, we've worked several weddings together. We talk on Facebook, and that might be the extent of it. And I'd like to go in, kind of understand you guys a little bit. So more about you, like where are you from? Are you from here? If you're from Reno?
I was born and raised here, yeah.
Born and raised?
Born and raised.
Dude, that's awesome. How old are you now?
Well, I've been here 53 years. I guess I just told everybody how stinking
Right.
old I am. But yeah, I guess yeah,
Age is a number. I mean, yeah,
yeah,
I'm 36 now. I don't know. I've never been one of those age people. Like, I'll ask anybody their age, and you'll see how they react. But I'm like, what are you gonna hide from? Like, who cares? If you're 90, you're
right,
90. It's nothing like
right,
If you look 90, that's a whole different thing. And you're 40, that's your own bad. You gotta stop the smoking.
absolutely.
When did you when did you get into DJing, or how did you get into DJing?
Kind of a crazy story with me. I actually drove a bread route for 15 years, and I went down with heart disease.
Oh wow.
And I went down with heart disease, and I had to go in the hospital, and it was major. It was bad, and pulled in my parents and said he wasn't going to live to see tomorrow, and so I actually had to retire from the bread business. So here I am with I had a stereo and I had 2 CD players, and I thought I knew a lot about music. I mean, I have 3,000 CDs sitting in our garage that I used to buy CDs when I was younger all the time.
Right.
So
Same.
I looked at myself in the mirror and said, you know what? I'm going to be a DJ.
Now, did you like music? Did you love music, or were you just like a collector of music?
I loved music. I
Right.
mean, I literally studied music. So, but it wasn't all, fun and games, dude. I unfortunately ruined some weddings because I thought being a DJ would be. I started out in the radio station. So I worked for KOZZ. I worked for
Okay.
104.5, and then we opened up Cub Country. And so and then I went down with a second thing of heart disease. So then I had to be laid off there. And so I thought, man, I know a lot about music, so I'm going to be a DJ. But it wasn't quite that easy in the beginning.
I mean, yeah. So, you went straight into weddings? Did you mentor under anybody, or intern, or anything like that?
I should have, bro. No, I did not. And listen, I learned my lesson very fast that you can know a lot about music, but you don't know a lot about weddings until you go into it. So
It's a different world, man. Yeah, and
yeah,
we joke about that now, but oh my god, there's been a ton of weddings where and what DJs, photographers, anything where I've seen weddings just get completely smashed because somebody doesn't know how to do their job or didn't know what to expect. And I think mostly with weddings, the reason that we're so good at weddings is that we know what things might come up and we know when they might come up. So you kind of anticipate that and push through it.
exactly. And you get when you've made those mistakes, you look in the mirror and say, I can't do this because it's these people are relying on me to make their day great, and I can't mess it up. So I think I got right in the thick of it very quickly, and I learned very quickly how to roll with it. How to
Right.
make it, and I did. I worked with Max Volume for many years, and he did it for many years, and I might have went to him at one point and said, hey. And what's funny about him is he said, I would never do weddings again. I'll stay on the radio because they're that hard. So,
I hear a lot of and that's always the ongoing joke. I hear a lot of old school people in every aspect of weddings who are like, yeah, I love what I do, but I'll never do weddings again. I'll never do weddings again. And I don't know what happened with me, but when I started doing weddings, I mean, I took a couple years off after my first few and I came back to it, but I still like doing it. I love it. It's never been one of those things. I always tell people I shoot weddings all the time, and I'll talk to somebody and they're like, oh, I'll never do a wedding again. I don't want to shoot. And I'm like, what happened that was so bad that you weren't prepared for, that you're pulling out of this huge industry right now?
I think that if you don't do your job correctly, it can be very embarrassing, and you're in front of 150 people and you mess it up. It might be one of those things where some people think, man, I just can't go back to that. I have embarrassed myself, and
Right.
I can't get over it, but I mean,
Yeah.
if life is about learning, and you learn and you move on and you apologize to those people that you mess it up and you hope they forgive you. But then the light turns on, and you understand it, and you get a philosophy that works.
Right.
And your philosophy ours is, we're all about the client. We do whatever it takes to be, it's about the bride and the groom and their family and the people that go to that wedding. And that philosophy seems to really work well for us. So,
I mean, as it should. There is this ego in the wedding industry. There's this weird thing that happens where the DJ thinks it's all about them. The photographer, which I, will admit, like, as I'm shooting a wedding and my name's getting out there and people know me, there's like a mini celebrity thing going on. So as I'm shooting, they're like, oh, Jeramie Lee's shooting this. So he's got it, blah, blah, blah. But it's not about me. And I try to push everything away as much as I can. And I think as long as the vendors understand that, hey, we're here for like their day, let's not try to focus it back on us.
Right. And I think that, I will tell you that when Kelly and I see that you're the photographer, we're like, oh man, we got this. It's Jeramie Lou. I mean, we worked with Jeramie a million times. We know it's going to flow good. And I mean, that's just how
I
we look at
appreciate
it.
that. Yeah. I mean, but that's my goal though. My goal is like, and Tracy saying hi here, Tracy Schroeder. And
love you, face. Pretty high.
She always uses the word friender whenever we talk. And that's exactly what it is. Like you guys are on my list. I have a list of people that I send out, and I want to work with certain people because I know we work well together. And, if that's the only way to make this work, that's the only way my career was built. Like I get referrals from you guys. I get referrals from vendors more than I get from bridegrooms, ads. I don't have to buy ads. And I think that as long as everybody kind of pushes that aspect, and yeah, same with you. I see you guys on a list when I'm like, hey, who's your DJ? And, we get a list of all these people. All of a sudden it's like easy, done. Like I know I don't have to fight with them during the wedding.
Well, and you know what, bro? I mean, listen, how nice is it to get a referral from another vendor?
Exactly.
Honestly. I mean, it's the beauty of this business is that people respect the way you do business. And that we're all about respect in our business. We have certain venues or, vendors, obviously, that we go with because we feel comfortable with them. And that doesn't mean that the other ones are bad. It's just that maybe I haven't or we haven't worked with them before, so we haven't seen their work.
So are there, you don't have to say names, but are there vendors that you won't work with or that when you see them on a list, you're like, holy shit, like this is going to be stupid?
I would like to think not, but I think as we all know, there are people we like and people maybe that aren't so much.
Right. I have one who's a caterer who I haven't worked with in like 12 years. And I haven't seen his name on the list, but if I do, I literally will gag because of what he did at a wedding to the couple, to everybody at the wedding. And I didn't even know he was still working, but I found out he was still working. But yeah, but other than that, like I think I can work with everybody except one DJ who was doing coke at a wedding. That was weird.
But yeah, that might not be the best alternative. If you're going to drink a Coke like this,
right? Totally different Coke. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you're going to snort this up your nose, that might not be so really good for you.
Right.
So.
Or at least, take your time. Like he kept going every 20 minutes to the bathroom. And then snorting it up and coming back. On that aspect, let me ask you, I want to get back to the CD thing here in a second, but like, how do you feel about drinking at weddings? How do you feel about DJs, photographers, anybody having alcohol at weddings?
What we do is we ask the bride and groom if we're allowed to, and they make the decision for us.
Cool.
I don't. That's a good question, man. That's a tough one.
There's no right or wrong, to be honest. I mean, like people know what they can handle. People know what they can do. And I'll tell you, and you can answer. But my scary thing, I don't drink at a wedding because I'm a person that I have to sit down and drink and then kind of just chill, right? I can't like drink, run around. Even if I'm barbecuing at home, I'm not drinking, flipping. I'm like, I'll sit down and drink. But if I'm at a wedding and something happens. So say that I lose some images or I drop my camera or something, and then they see that I'm having a beer, they're going to be like, it's because he's drinking that he fucked up our wedding. And I don't want that to be an excuse.
I got to agree with that. And I think that having a drink or two may be all good, especially if the bride and groom want to have a drink for you, but having 6 or 8 or 10 may not be the key to success on that. So
there's no right or wrong. I mean, I've been to weddings where I had a beer or I get a shot from the bride and groom, and most of the times I can finagle my way out and be like, you know what, I'm working, you want your pictures to be crisp and good. And I'll work with some DJs who I know always go at a certain time, and they go, I'm gonna have a beer, and then they have a beer at their station, headphones on, they rock it out. And I don't judge anybody because they're doing their work. But yeah, if it got to that point, I would definitely, it's one of the things that scares me. It's more liability stuff than anything else.
Yeah, no, I gotta agree with you. And I mean, the day I have to hit autoplay and I pass out under the table probably will be the last day that I have a drink at a wedding.
Right.
But
right.
thank God that hasn't happened yet. So
I'm glad
I'm
that's
not
an option. Yeah, I'm glad you're thinking about it. I'm glad you have like an autoplay to just go and be like, I'm going to lay down right here. Nobody's going to know.
Well, I don't really know how good autoplay will be because autoplay doesn't take requests. But
Right.
hopefully I don't ever have to get to that point. So
One day, man. So you mentioned CDs at the beginning, and so you're all digital now, right?
yes.
And what are the CDs doing in your garage? Why are you keeping them?
That's a good damn question. I mean, I spent a ton of money on them when I was younger, so
Yeah.
I just don't think I can get the money out of them.
Dude, what,
Uh,
like it's like
I
12 to
mean,
$15 a CD, sometimes 20. And yeah, 3,000. I mean, that's a good like $45,000 right there in CDs.
so if I go to Recycle Records and they give me $3 a CD, I might cry. But actually, it
If
would
you're
get them
lucky,
out of the
yeah.
garage. Yeah, I might get them out of the garage. So I don't know. I haven't parted with them yet. That's a good question. I don't really know why I still have them.
No, and I joke with this because we had a garage sale like 5 years ago. And I was that guy. Every day I would go to, either Target or when Warehouse was open, or I would go and I would listen to this music and I would buy a full CD. I never bought singles. I was like, I gotta buy a CD, and I had a ton. Like I had 1,000 CDs, 1,500 CDs, something crazy. And I also had those, flip out cases that they used to have where you put them in for your car.
Right,
And
right.
I was like, I'm just not listening anymore. I transferred everything to iTunes, so it was all on here. And then we were having a garage sale, and then I put them all out for sale. I was like, $1 a piece, cool, as low as I'll
Right.
go. And this guy it was the end of the day. Guy goes, I'll give you $25 for all of them. And then my wife goes, okay. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, because I didn't want to bring them in. And then to throw it off, the box that was in was like a storage box that you put in the
Right.
garage.
Right.
And he's like, can I just have this box for free? I'm like, that box is worth $25, bro.
Right.
And so we
Right.
ended up giving everything for $30. And I'm like, that whole collection is gone.
Well, and
But
your wife probably told you, you know what, babe, the Ferrari doesn't play CDs anymore. It has a USB. It has a USB port, so
right,
and the
right.
Ferrari you can't put them in. So
God, yeah, I was trying to explain to my daughters like my first car with the changing CD. I remember taking it to Best Buy and they put like a CD changer, but they had to put it in the back in the trunk of the car. For some reason, that's where it went, and they drilled it into the trunk. And so if I had to change, it was a 6-disc changer, and if I had to change my music, I had to stop on the side of the road, go to the back of my car, pull the thing out, change it, and then go back in the car and then play my music. And they didn't understand how they did, because they'll sit there and be like, Dad, play, Eminem or play whatever. And you just
I had the
Spotify
same
it right
thing.
now.
I had the same thing. I just figured that when I was coming out of the club and I was sick, I would just pull over and throw up, and then I'd pop the trunk to the car. I would change the CDs, throw up one
Yeah.
more time, get in the car, and drive home.
Hardcore,
So,
hardcore
I guess it was
living.
a win-win situation.
That's awesome. So tell me about you and Kelly. So how long have you guys been together?
So it'll be our 7th year being married in December.
Nice. And you guys were together for a while before then, or how long before then?
We were. Yeah, we dated before then, and I mean, we're doing great. I mean, we've got our struggles, but we do good. And I appreciate
everybody should. Yeah, everybody has their struggles. One thing that I do remember about you guys or notice is that she's always your hype girl. She's always the fun one behind the table at a party, smiling at everybody, making sure everything does. Does she do any DJ things, or does she just kind of, is she like your assistant, or how does that work? Or do I misread that?
She's very much learning. So,
Okay.
last year we did a couple holiday parties where we split up and she did her thing and I did my thing. She's very shy, and what people don't understand and don't see about her, she doesn't like the microphone whatsoever. And
Oh,
she's beautiful on it, but she doesn't want the focus on her. And I
right.
think that is what she's about. She doesn't like to be in the spotlight. I'm not necessarily a person that likes to be in it either. I mean, I don't know if people
Right.
know that about me, but we're very much, when we're not working, we're very much homebodies. So,
Well, and that's good. I mean, yeah, I think in your guys' profession, you definitely need to be on the mic just to get people going. But then it's easy to pull out and again, remind people that it's their day. There's this whole thing going on with with how much a vendor needs to be in front of everybody or not. And then if they are, is it a bad thing? If they're not, is it a bad thing? And I don't care as long as it's not awkward.
Right.
When the father-daughter dance happens, I need it to happen. I don't need the DJ or the photographer or the videographer to like stall it or stop it with banter or whatever they need to do. Let's just let them have their day.
Right. And I think we've all been at those weddings where the DJ talked for 45 minutes before, the first dance came on, and you're like, good God, just let's let it happen.
You're not
like,
as funny as you think.
We don't want to hear what you did an hour ago. Just let it happen and let it flow, and everything's good. So
right. So we kind of touched base on the weddings that you're doing right now, right before we went on live, so they didn't really hear that. But you guys are still doing well. You're booking. You still have weddings this year. You're booking into next year. And we did mention that one of the venues that you have, they're just having, and we can say it Whitney Peak because that's going to be on here, but they're just having their bride and groom do a sign off on COVID, on potential or whatever. Did they, what I wanted to ask you is, did they temperature check everybody? Do they have masks available, or was it just sign this off and we're good? We're just going to rock it.
We're going to know July 11th because that's our first one there. And we gave the coordinator a call, and Kelly was talking to him or her, and she goes, well, there's going to be 50 to 55 people. And, I kind of looked at her and I'm like, what do you say? And, Kelly kind of went, okay, well, how are we going to combat COVID and all that? And well, they're just going to have them sign off, and there's no restrictions, I guess, they didn't give us a restriction on anything else. So I really can't answer that at this stage. We'll know June 11th, and we've got one there, or July 11th, and we've got one there July 30th as well. So.
And I'm actually happy that you're going to be doing that. I'm happy that they have a waiver, because that's been our biggest question. I know, talking to a lot of the coordinators, venues and all that, everybody's just unknown, right? So right now it's 50 people, but like, we don't know if phase 3 goes to 100. And also, like, are we counted as the 50 people? So if I'm running in and out and they have 50 people, I'm 51, 52 with my assistant. Is that, what happens then? And that's the tricky part. Yeah. So keep me posted on that. I know a lot of wedding vendors will kind of know what to do. Are you guys going to wear a mask?
At this stage, I do believe we are. Yeah. We weren't going to before, but I think, let's be honest, I think, there's a spike and stuff happening now. And I think when we see Sisolak talk tonight, I think that's going to be mandatory. Right. So, yeah, I think we are going to have to. So
I think it'd be good to have. I think you guys have a little bit more room. At least you have the table in front of you, your equipment in front of you and people. So if they come up to you, you guys can just rock the mask on and be like, yeah, what can I do for you? But because I'll be the same way. I'll have a mask with me, but I will probably wear it low unless I get, I can be 6 feet away from anybody with the camera. That's just not an issue.
Right. And another thing that Kelly and I were just talking about this morning is we're going to bring Clorox wipes for the mic. So everybody that talks on the mic that does the speech and does, the toast, we're going to wipe the mic off every time. And even it goes so far as when we put a piece of paper and a pin out for requests, we're going to wipe the pin off everybody, grab the request as well. So we're going to do our diligent part to hopefully maintain safety. So.
Right. Or even, you'd have to change it. Even just having the request come in and you guys write it down yourself or something. I don't think about stuff like that, but that's kind of your world on people coming up. I think everybody will be fine. I think they'll clean up enough. And as long as everybody's in there, that should be good. Where do you guys see, how long have you been in this? How long have you been doing this, doing weddings? How long has that been?
Well, for me, it'll be 23 years, and for Kelly, obviously 7 with me. So 23 years for me.
That's a long time, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to retire, but my bank account won't let me. So
you're
I'm ready to give it to Tracy and Mike. But my bank account won't let us. So.
Well, I know Tracy's always looking for DJs, so maybe it's just time to do a little satellite business. Have her book everything for you.
Yeah, I mean, Tracy's a great gal. We're gonna work our company so we can't do it anymore. So.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, what have you thought about training somebody else under your company?
To be quite honest with you, we don't want the hassle of another DJ under our company because, and this is going to sound arrogant of us, but I just don't think anybody can do it the way that I would like it to be done. So that's kind of an
No,
arrogant answer. I hope it's not
you're
arrogant,
you're
but
uh,
I'm
you're
being
preaching
truthful.
to the choir, buddy. I mean, here's the deal. Like, I have the opportunity always, and I get hit up by a lot of photographers. I turn away a lot of weddings. I only do 35 weddings a year. I turn away a lot of weddings, and here's the deal. It's like I get so many photographers who are like, yeah, I'll shoot under your name, and you just pay me $1,000. You keep the rest. You do the editing and all that stuff. And I'm like, it sounds lucrative, sounds good. Oh, I can make an extra $2,500, because I'm booked on, let's say, 10, 10, 20 this year, and I can book 3 more 10, 10, 20s if I have photographers out there. But they're not going to shoot like me. They're not going to have my personality. They're under my name, but are they going to be gung-ho? Are they going to be, Jeramie Lou? And that freaks me out. And I don't think it's arrogant. I think you've built a brand. You've built you. And how do you deal with that first complaint that comes in and says, yeah, your photographer was shit. I want my money back. And you're like,
Exactly.
What do I do now? How do, I'm sorry. I trained him.
I think sometimes it's enough to worry about Kelly and I. So I don't want to have to worry about somebody else at a wedding that's under our name. So that's, I admire these companies that can have dual DJs, and because I admire that. And then they can hire ones that they can, have faith in and know that their name is good. I do admire that, but that's just not for us. So
cool. Yeah. No, and your business is your business, but I feel the same way. So it's not for me either. I have the opportunity to do it, but I'm not going to do it. So we were kind of messaging on Facebook, and I won't tell people we're messaging about, but I've joined a couple organizations lately. I want to get your input here. Are you part of any local organizations, Twig, NACE, we have WOW, we have NNBA. Are you part of any of those crews?
We are not.
And why are you not?
Man, you're putting me under the
safe space. This is a safe space.
Hey, listen, I'm a straight shooter, and I'm going to be straight with this answer.
Please.
As well.
I actually need to know this. Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people meeting under these that really don't like each other, and that honestly are probably not talking well about the other vendors. And I'm not going to be a part of that. I'm sorry, but
so
I will not be.
Do you feel like it's more cliquey?
I do.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I've heard that.
Let's be honest. I know, and we talked about this earlier. I understand that certain vendors have the vendors they like to work under. And I respect that. And I respect, all the stuff you guys are doing in those too. But I just feel like I'm not going to sit there and act like I love 100 people that I'm hanging out with on a Wednesday when I would rather be drinking vodka here at 11 o'clock.
Right.
I would rather do that than hang out with people that I feel like don't really respect me in our business. And that's just the honest to God truth.
So no, I love that's the real stuff. I mean, like I joined these organizations more to network. That was my biggest thing. And when I joined the organizations, it was to network. It was to, remind people that, hey, Jeramie Lou's still here. Because I ran my studio for so long, Hatch, that I was so focused on that. And I was still doing my own weddings. But when I closed it, I was like, maybe these vendors forgot who I was, or they didn't know me because my whatever. And I started to doubt myself. So then I was like, I'm going to join these organizations just to remind people that Jeramie Lou is still here. And then I'm building my way through them. But yeah, I feel the same way. I had to fight through cliques. Luckily, I'm a person that I can get along with anybody, and I can just force my way in and talk to people. And then enough people knew my name that it wasn't hard. But there are a lot of shit talkers in the world, and I kind of knew who they were. But I'm the type of person that would get in front of their face and be like, hey, I'm Jeramie. How's everything going, buddy? Like, I'm not going to say you were talking shit about me. In fact, I went to this thing at Edgewood. They invited all the vendors over there before they made massive changes, either this time last year or 2 years. I can't remember how long ago it was. And there was a photographer who literally was bad mouthing me to everybody, and they were there. And so I walked up to them and I said, hey, how's everything? How's wedding season going? How are you doing? I love your work. And they looked at me like I was crazy, not knowing that I knew everything. And that's what I do, because I like, to stir up some stuff every once in a while.
Right.
Have you dealt with then a lot of vendors kind of bad mouthing you in the area, or is that what you're saying? Like, has that been happening? Because you've been in this game a lot longer than me then.
Well, no, I think I think Kelly and I are somebody that everybody can get along with too. I just think recently I've heard a few things that I didn't care for. Not gonna lie to you, I Facebooked you, and you know these things,
Yep.
and I'm not gonna throw names out, but there's just things I don't care for. I will tell you that Kelly and I respect every vendor at some point,
Cool.
every single vendor, because we're all trying to do the same thing. But
Right.
I think when there are certain vendors that are shooting out to different companies, certain things that I see that I don't care for, and
It
not
puts
just us,
a
but they're shooting things out to vendors that I really care about that I don't like that. And quite frankly, I'm not going to hang out with those kind of people. And yeah, I'm missing out on 95% of good people. We are. So when
right.
we're talking about not joining these groups or whatever you want to call them, we are missing out on 95% of the people that we really do like and care about. So I will say that.
But yeah, you have a bad taste in your mouth, and I get it. Like, if I feel the same way, if I go to an event and there's one person that makes it awkward for me, why would I go there? Like, why would I, and it's not like you're focused on that person, but you're kind of focused on that. You're like, trying to get away from them, trying not to say anything weird, or you're the
Right.
whole time you're going like, are they going to say something about me, or do they care?
Right.
And it's just one of those things where I totally get it, man. Yeah. And that's the thing, and I'll make an announcement later on what's going on with me within these organizations, but that's stuff that I want to know because I'm new into it too. I'm 6 months into them, and I'm just trying to figure out where everybody's at with everything. Of course, I want all my friends to be in it, so that we can hang out. And I'll bring
Yeah.
vodka if you want, if that helps.
Hey, you know what, dude? I will say this. I'm not so much concerned about what people say about Kelly and I because I know our business is solid.
Right.
I'm more concerned with me saying something stupid about. I'm more concerned about me saying something I will regret later on.
And I
That's
feel
more of
like
what.
before we get into that, here's the deal. I have heard nothing negative about you guys ever. It's always positive. I always speak positive on you guys, so that's not a worry at all. But yeah, the PC world right now is insane. You can't say one thing without offending somebody else. Or if I say I shoot with Sony because I love Sony, and then the photographer who loves Canon is like, well, how dare you say that Canon is shit?
Right.
I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't have time to deal with that baby attitude. And I've noticed it in
Right.
some of these groups as well, where somebody says something, how they run their business. And then somebody else
Right.
gets upset because somebody said that. And I'm like, they don't care. If the world is not yours, like they don't
Right.
care about you. They're just telling people what they do to try to sell themselves. If you decide that you want to just use CDs and all of a sudden
Right.
a digital DJ is like, how dare him just, throw us under the bus. I'm like, he didn't. He just said he likes CDs. It's so weird how people are, and yeah, I just don't get it. I don't get it anymore.
And I'm probably guilty. Listen, I'm probably as guilty as anybody getting butthurt over something stupid. But
Right.
that's just my personality. And I care so much about the wedding industry as a whole. And I care so much about all of us we're all trying to do the same things. We're all
Right.
trying to make a living. I would never, ever effing expect a vendor to look at me and say, I want to screw this wedding up because I don't give a shit about this couple.
Right.
There's nobody doing that. Everybody
Right.
is trying to do their best. And I think sometimes I see things that might come down that I get a little butthurt over that I really don't need to. Kelly tries to calm my nerves, and she does a good job at it. I'm a German, and I'm stubborn, man, and
Oh
sometimes
man,
it gets the best of me. So I will say that.
it's I'm a German. I like that. Yeah, I think Asians are the same way. We're just loud and abrupt. A lot of happening right there. So all right, you have the views of retirement, but what's the future hold for you guys? Is anything changing with you guys, or are you just going to keep trucking along until you don't truck along anymore?
Yeah, I think we're always trying to evolve. We're always trying to come up with that golden ticket to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, that
Right.
might put us over the edge. But I think, no, retirement for us isn't at least 10 years. Sorry, Tracy and Mike, I love you both, but it's probably not 10 years away. But anyway, we're just going to keep doing what we do, and hopefully that we make people happy. Our goal is to make people happy and to make that day the best they can be, and we're going to continue to do that for sure.
I love that, dude. All right, so we're going to pop off of Facebook now. This is amazing. I really wanted to focus on your business. I really wanted to focus on the talk, and and see where you're at. I didn't realize you were doing this for this long, to be honest. I mean, I feel like I've been in the game for 12 years, 13 years, shooting weddings, shooting photography. I mean, I started like 3 months after I bought a camera, which I don't recommend to anybody. Don't hire those people.
Yeah.
But I
It's
feel like I've learned.
intimidating.
It is. Well, I think about it now, right? I bought a camera at Best Buy for $400. I learned how to shoot. And then like, a month later, I was like, oh, cool. I go on Craigslist and I'm like, hey, wedding photographer. And I booked a wedding for, I think it was like $200 for 8 hours at some little motel that had a backyard in Tahoe.
Right.
And the wedding was at night, and I did not bring lighting because I didn't know that I had to do that. So then they had to go to Home Depot down the street and then buy some like shop lights to shoot all over the back. So they didn't have lighting in the venue either, like in the backyard.
Right.
So then I was like, oh, that's what we're doing. Yeah, that gives me like cringes and chills and thinking about it. But
before we pop off Facebook, I got to tell you the funniest story. One of many of my wedding stories. We had this couple that literally like met with us 5 times, and she did a questionnaire. And I mean, like, what are you gonna wear? I mean, literally.
It's like, is that from the knot?
Oh, dude, yeah. I mean, it was like interrogating me, like, and Kelly. And so Kelly was working that night. She had another job to do. So I get to the venue was Hidden Valley. So I get to Hidden Valley. I get all my stuff. I'm ready to go. I forgot my effing slacks. I had shorts on. I had all my shit, but I forgot my freaking slacks. So we were about 45 minutes out before this wedding was going to start. And I'm like, man, I got to go to Ross. So I called Kelly and I'm like, hey, babe, are you getting off? Can you drop by Ross and get me some pants? She's like, no, I don't get off for a while. I won't make it in time. So I go to Ross. So I get this goofy ass pair of slacks. They don't even fit. They're plaids.
Right.
But I'm behind the table, so no one's really gonna like look at this down part of it. So I made it within 2 minutes. I get the slacks on. Wedding goes off. They were all happy. But it's those kind of things that you never really prepare for. That happen in weddings. So
that's like bad dream stuff, man. That's like what you dream about before the wedding. Like that you have no pants, you have no whatever. I can't even imagine. I'm thinking
no one wants to see me without pants, for God's sake. I don't even want to see it. I mean, I don't want to.
I'm down to take a peek, but
you're a good guy. That's why,
So before we hop off, will you just let everybody that's watching this, and this will be shareable after, so you can definitely share and push it to everywhere. Let everybody know how to find you, how to book you, all that fun stuff. Because you still have 10 years to book, so let's get this going. Just give yourself a spin.
Guys, so we're at myweddinglibrary.com. That's all we are. We don't ever have any other website besides that. So that's all we do. You can click on there, find us.
So let me ask you then. Does My Wedding Library have fairs and all that stuff? They have bridal fairs and they keep you guys going, or do you just post up there?
I mean, we do their bridal fairs, but I got to be honest with you. After 23 years, most of ours is somebody else referring somebody else. I mean, that's 90% of our business. So, and we're also on Facebook. You got the Thunder and Lightning on Facebook. You can hit us up on Page Manager. And I just want to shout out to every vendor that's going through the hard times. Hey, we're with you, man. It's not like you're not the Lone Ranger. And, I would take any call from any vendor if I can be of any service. Kelly and I, we love all of you guys. We're all in this together. So thank you and cheers to all of you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Yeah. So guys, I have them tagged, the business page and his personal page. Feel free to grab them. They also run a photo booth as well. I just saw on this. I actually didn't know that you did that. But yeah, I appreciate your time, man. And keep me updated, guys. And I'll ask you again later on how everything went as far as COVID goes with your venues, because my first wedding isn't until July 25th. But that'll be down in Gray Eagle.
Listen, and it might help everybody else to know what Whitney Peak's going to do. So, because the first wedding, apparently there's going to be 50 people, and that's July 11th. But the one on the 30th is supposedly having 150. So I really don't know what that's going to entail, but I would love to tell everybody, yay, nay, this or that, So,
keep us posted, and I'll push that info. I mean, hopefully, whatever Sisolak says tonight, we don't know. But the goal is every 2 weeks, right? So hopefully if it's still in phase 2, every 2 weeks we go to phase 3 and so forth. If everybody does what they're supposed to do. All right, say bye, but don't leave me yet. I'm gonna pop off of Facebook here. Bye, Facebook.
All right, guys. Bye, Facebook. Have a good day, guys.
Awesome, buddy. We're all done with that. Thank you so much, man. What are you doing the rest of the day?
No, dude, we're just being Kelly and Jimmy. Man,
Yeah.
thank you for having us. I mean,
yeah, appreciate it.
Without doubt, dude, you are the photographer that we respect the most. You're somebody in this community that we really, truly respect. I mean, I will tell you that. So,
thanks, man. No, that means a lot. I mean, I gotta tell you, like, the photography was never a goal of mine. Like, I didn't have a photography like muscle when I was like in high school or anything like that. And I just bought a camera one day. But I'm really good at networking and I'm really good at business and bartending and all that. You start to learn what people like and what people don't like, and ultimately I'm a people pleaser, so I just want to make sure that everybody's having a good time and chill.
Well, you're a master at setting the tone for the shot. I mean, you're just that.
Oh,
like you can
thank you,
take
man.
You can take two people, and it doesn't matter what the setting is, and you get the masterful shot. And for that, I applaud you. So
I appreciate that. I once shot a whole bridal series at a ceremony. There was a cemetery.
Yeah.
And there was a venue that they didn't have anything at the venue, but across the street was a cemetery, which beautiful light. And it was in like Pleasanton, and that's the only place we had to shoot. And so we went across the street and shot there, and it wasn't weird at all. Wasn't weird at all.
But I will tell you that Kelly wanted me to let you know we're looking forward to Bryson and Lexi getting married someday, and you and Lexi Keppel. So we're looking forward to that someday, and we're hoping to work with you sometime soon. So
yeah, I mean, you're on my list, and obviously everything's a downturn right now, but people are starting to book and people are going. So yeah, you guys, we'll make it happen one of these days, man. But anyways, I appreciate it. I know you're busy, so I'll let you guys go. But tell Kelly I said hello.
I will, dude. And let's do another one after this July 30th. So I can kind of update everybody on what's going on,
Yeah, will you keep me posted as soon as you have more information or whatever? Just let me know, and then we'll just jump into it, and we'll just do a little special podcast. So yeah, keep me posted. Yeah, and anytime there's anything that you guys are doing that you want to jump on, just let me know. The more content I have, the better. But yeah, the more I can learn about you guys, the better. So now I feel like I know a little bit more going into it.
We're super proud of you for throwing out this podcast, bro. We love you, man. And Kelly says she loves you too. So hopefully we'll see you soon, right, bro?
Yeah, I appreciate it. All right, you guys enjoy your day.
Hey, you too, and take care, right?
Later,
bro.